From NBC News, this is Today with Matt Lauer and Meredith Vieira. Live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
Now to more of our continuing series, Today's Money 911. Whether it's your mortgage or your kid's education that's keeping you up at night, today's financial editor and Money Magazine's Jean Chatzky is here with some bottom line advice. Jean, good to see you.
Nice to see you.
All right, let's get right to this. Our first question is from Mike in Dallas, and given our current economic climate, this question is going to hit home with a lot of folks.
Absolutely.
I switched jobs, rolled my 401k from my old job into my new company. Unfortunately, my new company went bankrupt. I lost 20 years of savings. I have 3 children. I'm wondering if I can invest in a Roth IRA, then use it later for college expenses without being penalized. So is this a good idea for him?
It is a good idea for him. Boy, we hate to hear stories like this.
Horrible.
And horrible story. Fortunately, we don't hear a lot of them. But the Roth is a great vehicle simply because it's so flexible. You can put dollar after dollar into the Roth. When your kids get to college age, you can use it for education. You can use it to buy a first house. You can pull out contributions at any time simply because you've paid taxes on them already.
Right.
And if you pull out the profits from those contributions before age 59 and a half, you have to know that you're going to incur a penalty.
So there is a little catch in that.
There's a little catch, but again, if college is his focus, this is a good vehicle to use. But I have to say, he's got to keep in mind that his retirement has to come first.
Since he lost his savings, can he expect to maybe get some sort of financial aid?
I would hope so, absolutely. He should definitely go through the process by the time his kids are juniors in high school of looking at what sort of contribution he's expected to make. But by all means, he should be in there and applying for a lot of aid.
The next one comes from Cora in Douglasville, Georgia, and it's like so many folks, she's being, affected by this housing crunch. She writes, my husband and I are planning to sell our home when the mortgage crisis hit, and because of all the foreclosures, because we had to take out a second mortgage to pay down some debt, our house is now worth less than we owe on it, so we feel stuck here. A friend suggested jingle mail as a solution. So what is this jingle mail, and is it a viable option?
Jingle mail is a term from the early 90s. Essentially, it means mailing your keys back to the bank. It is a not so good option. People are doing it, absolutely, but what she doesn't understand is if you go through that process of just handing things over, you completely trash your credit rating, which means that if she goes to try to buy something else to live in, chances are she is not going to be able to get a mortgage. A better option is to either stay in the house for a little while, try to turn yourself right side up on that loan before you sell it so that you can at least get out clean. Rent the house for a while. The renter's market tends to move in opposition with the seller's market, so she may be able to make more money just by renting the house, continue to pay her mortgage, and go live somewhere else.
Would an option be to talk to the bank and try to work something out?
By all means, you want to talk to your bank. You call the lender, you explain that this is trouble, and they may suggest something called a short sale where you actually have their permission to sell the house for less than it's worth.
All right, good idea. Next question is from Dan, Tulsa, Oklahoma. He writes, due to rising cost of gas, food, everyday goods, money is tight. I have 2 vehicles. I could get rid of one, but it's a lease. If I turn it in early, it will show as a repo on my credit. What should I do?
Right, turning that car in early is the equivalent of jingle mail. You're just giving it back, and it shows up as a negative remark on your credit. You either get in touch with the lender and you try to work something out, or we put Dan in touch with a company called Lease Trader. They're a website, leasetrader.com. They hook up people like Match.com does, but people who want to assume an already existing lease with people who have one that they want to get rid of. There is a small fee for this. It costs about $200 for the person who's trying to unload the lease and a little less for somebody else.
But what if the person you give the lease to or trade the lease out with defaults on that lease?
The lease is actually transferred. That's why you're paying the money to this company, and once it's approved and the car lending company signs off on that transfer, you are off the hook.
Last one. How much can I contribute to an SEP IRA, and until when? This is from Martha in Sugar Land, Texas. Also, I'm being audited for 2006. My accountant wants to wait to file 2007 to see what they're looking for. Will my husband and I still get our stimulus package if we file an extension?
2 questions. The first, for the SEP IRA, you can actually contribute. These are for self-employed people, and you can actually contribute up to $45,000. It's a percentage of your income. So if you're self-employed, this is absolutely something that you want to look at. As far as getting her rebate dollars, she'll have until October 15th. I would very much advise making sure that the accountant handles that audit in the way that he or she sees fit. then you deal with the rebate
Don't worry
dollars.
about the rebate dollars.
You're going to, go ahead and deal with the audit first, rebate second.
All right, Gene Chatsky, thanks so much. A lot of good advice. And next time around, we'd like to see you on camera asking Gene your question. You can find more information on how to set us your home video on our website at todayshow.com. So look pretty and ask the question.